Have you ever thought about how your product dictates who your customers are? I think this is something that a lot of business owners don't actually piece together. They think that when they start a business, as long as they put a sign out, people are going to come. But that's not actually the case because your product will only attract certain types of customers. Currently, I am in the middle of a 30-day YouTube challenge where I try to post a video every day on YouTube for 30 days. Today is day 11. Today is also the day that I want to kick off a new series where I talk to you about who is your customer. This is such an important question that I believe a lot of small businesses get wrong. And it's the most important question in the type of business research that I do for my clients. This question is so important that big businesses will not even make an offer on a location until they know who is in the market. Who are their customers going to be? One of the best ways to figure that out is to look at the product that you're selling. If you don't know what type of customer your product is selling, you're already missing a key component of your business. In today's video, I'm going to show you how the product is going to dictate who your customer is going to be. Examples from the publishing industry. I want to kick this off right now by starting with the publishing industry. I believe this is one of the easiest ways to show you an example of how your customers are dictated by the product. I will say that a lot of writers get this question wrong. And because they get it wrong, they end up advertising to the wrong people because they don't think about who is actually picking up and reading their book. Now, stay with me, even if you don't read books, because you're going to have to look at your inventory in the same way that I'm about to show you these kind of examples. Let's kick this off with this book first, Mandarin Chinese for Beginners. Now, think about what kind of person would buy this book. It's obviously not going to be somebody that already speaks Chinese. If they do buy it, they're buying it for somebody who doesn't speak Chinese. Does that make sense? So it's not going to be a native Chinese speaker. It's going to be somebody who wants to learn the language. On the other hand, these books right here, French, Italian, Arabic, very thin books. These are phrase books. These are not for people that want to learn the language. These are for people that are about to travel and they need to know the key phrases and key expressions that they are most likely going to have to use while traveling. Can you see the differences? They're both books. They're both about languages, but the components are incredibly different. And the type of person, the type of traveler, the type of student is going to be different simply because of what the book is teaching. The next book I want to talk to you about is Twilight. And yes, I did buy this book. I bought this book actually when the movie came out because I became such a fan of the movie. The people that are going to buy this book, especially in hardcover, are going to be people who were fans of the story, whether it was the movie or the book themselves. Most of the people that bought the book before the movie came out, this is categorized as young adult. They were young adults. I bought this book even though I already had the collection, simply because on the backside is it's Twilight reimagined from Edward's point of view. And I thought that was such an interesting concept that even though I had the whole collection, I'm a big enough fan to actually go ahead and get it. The other thing to think about is the people that are going to buy this are people who are a fan of vampire stories, people who are fans of supernatural. You're not going to find horror fans buying this. It would have to be somebody who likes a light touch of romance, along with the supernatural elements, a vampire that's not really a vampire, not in the classical case, and like I said, somebody who's probably seen the movie. Here's another one from a movie. Bridget Jones' The Diary. Again, I bought this after I saw the movie, but if you think about who would buy this, is most likely going to be older women like myself who are in the working industry, or even people who want to travel to England, simply because they want to get a taste of the culture. And again, also fans of the movie would buy this one. It is basically classified as chick lit. I believe the expression for that has been changed to contemporary romance. But again, a romantic element, a little bit more sleeping around together than in Twilight. The next book I want to talk to you about is Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life. This is a feng shui book. It's about the Chinese art of placing your stuff so that the flow in the room is better and the human within the room can interact better with the room. The reason I bought this is because I actually have found that feng shui in the past has allowed me to be more creative. I am terrible at interior decorating. I would even go so far as to say I don't have a lot of class or style. I buy what I like, whether it goes together with other stuff or not. And books like this have helped me arrange it. So you're looking at somebody who does have an interest in possibly remodeling their home, their apartment, their office, some aspect of their life. It says right here how to use feng shui for love, money, respect, and happiness. So somebody looking for like the metaphysical way of gaining things might be interested in this. Somebody who might be into astrology or just the basic art of how the Chinese analyze life in general. Here's another one, 5-minute fixes. Generally, somebody who would buy this would be a homeowner. You could possibly have some renters buying it, but all in all, why would a renter buy this when they can call the landlord and have the landlord fix up their house? So most likely the person that's going to read this book is going to be a homeowner, somebody who's not very handy, because if they were handy, they wouldn't get 5-minute fixes. They would get the true way to renovate. Here's the next one, Quit Like a Millionaire by Christy Shen and Bryce Leung. The authors are Chinese, and they actually tell a fantastic story of how to invest your money, how to save your money, and how to basically retire early and be well off. Now, the person that would buy this is somebody who's looking to retire, somebody who wants to gather as much money as possible, and somebody who's looking to invest. So this would apply to people that have actually entered the business world. I don't think teenagers would be interested in this. And I say that because I tried to get mine to read it and they wouldn't even look at it. But I did pass it on to my sister, who's in her 30s. As far as I know, she read it as well. Dieting books, How Food Works and Eat Right for Your Type. So somebody that would read these kind of books is somebody that is interested in nutrition, somebody that is possibly dieting, somebody who just wants to eat better, or somebody who's concerned that maybe dieting hasn't worked for them in the past, and so they really need to try something that is more customized to them. Whereas this one, How Food Works, would be somebody who doesn't understand why they're gaining weight and they're looking for answers. So these two kind of things, similar, a little bit different too, but it kind of gives you an idea how it's the same kind of book, but you could have two different kinds of people looking for it. Okay, the last 3 examples, do not judge me for these. These are not actually mine. 30-Day Sobriety Solution, 30-Second Psychology, and Mind Hacking. These were all bought by the same person. What kind of customer do you think would buy these things? The reason that I have them is actually my oldest child bought them. My oldest child is taking neurology classes and is very interested in the brain and how it works. For a while, they were very interested in nutrition and addiction. And so 30-Day Sobriety, anybody who's interested in addiction, or killing their addiction. The mind hacking part was just that they wanted to mess with us. Although, like I said, interested in the brain, 30-Second Psychology, they want to understand the human brain better. Basically, this is a college student that bought these books. But anybody who's interested in psychology would probably look at this one. How to Change Your Mind for Good in 21 Days. It says overcome addictions, conquer fear, fix your relationships, improve your career, find happiness. Anybody who's looking for one of those things is going to look at this book. And again, how to cut back or quit drinking in the privacy of your own home. Anybody who is finally acknowledging that they have a drinking problem. Somebody who doesn't think they have a drinking problem is not going to bother reading this book. And somebody who's sober is not going to bother getting this book. But somebody who's either studying sobriety or somebody who has finally realized that, yes, they have a problem, they're going to buy this book. How to implement this into your business. The next step that I want to tell you to do to implement this into your business is actually time-consuming, but super effective. What you want to do is you want to look at your inventory. Assuming you have a store, you're going to look at all of your products and you're going to look at each product individually and think, who is the end user for this product? You're going to be looking at, is it male? Is it female? How old are they? Are they children? Are they teenagers? Are they adults? Are they senior citizen? You want to look at what race they are. Some of the stuff you might see as people come into your store, but looking at your product and thinking about that kind of stuff is going to be more effective than looking at who's actually walking in your door. I'm going to use the example of Mexican food because it's one of my favorites, and I'm always picking on Mexican restaurants because I love them so much. If you have a Mexican restaurant, the likelihood that you're going to sell Mexican food to Mexicans, I believe, actually goes down. And that's simply because a lot of Mexicans have their own generational recipes. These are recipes passed down from their grandparents and their parents, and they know how to make a lot of those foods incredibly well and incredibly cheap. The only time they're going to come to you is if your product is cheaper than what they can make and they want to save time. So it might be somebody who's single, whereas somebody who's in a family would just cook for the whole family. The other thing to think about is when you look at your restaurant, is your restaurant a low-price restaurant like a fast food place where people are coming in for convenience and discounted price, or is it a more upscale place where there's an environment, there's an atmosphere, people are coming for dating, or for special events? That is also part of what your product is. What the environment of your restaurant is part of your product. What the environment of your business is part of your product. Now, let's say you have a service business. Maybe your business is grooming dogs. If you groom dogs, then the end user of your product is dogs. So you're going to be targeting dog users. And that's going to get you looking at a whole different type of person. Obviously, you're not going to be advertising to cat lovers if you do dog grooming, but if you do cat grooming, you might. To sum it up, what you need to do is as you create your list of your products and who the products apply to, you want to start thinking about, do I actually want to keep these products that don't apply to the bulk? Like a big percentage of what you have is going to apply to a certain type of customer. If that customer were, say, moms like me, I buy for my teenage children and I buy for my husband. My sister, she has toddlers and babies. She buys for her toddlers and babies and she buys for her husband. If a large percentage of what you have appeals to moms, you need to consider, are they buying stuff for children or teenagers? Because they are not necessarily the end user. Do you keep the products for the children or the teenagers around? Are you keeping the products for the husband around? You're not going to keep products for their parents. You're not going to have walkers or canes or stuff that older people would want because generally it's not as common for moms to buy for their parents. It's more common for them to buy for their immediate family. These are the kind of things you need to think about when you're looking at your inventory because by doing this, what you'll be able to do is eliminate the stuff that doesn't apply to the bulk of your customers. And when you do that, you can streamline your business even more and stop wasting money on things that just are going to not be used. Question of the day. My question of the day for you is, when you look at your products, who do you think your customer is? Put that answer in the comments below. I would love to know. If you have questions for me about it, I would love to chat with you. But keep in mind, I generally only answer questions on the videos that I've posted in the last 24 hours just to try to stay on top of things. So make sure you hit that subscribe button and that notification bell. That way, when the next video goes up sometime this week, you can pop over to that video and ask your question. I'd be more than happy to answer. If you do put it in this video, then it's going to take me a while to get back to you, and the answer might come in the form of another video. If you like this video, please hit the like button and share it with somebody. My goal is always to make businesses thrive instead of just survive. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking about the next part of the customer series, which is how to figure out what customers are actually in your area. This is the stuff that the big businesses pay me tens of thousands of dollars to do, and I'm going to show you how to do it for free. See you tomorrow.